Belen's open house goes virtual. Now that college campus has been open for 2 months, how do students feel? We take a look at athletics during COVID. Hey Wolverines, I'm Alfredo Diaz, and here's your news for today. Every year, Belen hosts an open house, which allows new applicants to view the school and understand what Belen stands for. This experience often sways the decisions of parents of incoming students.
Every year, Belen offers an in-person open house to allow families to immerse themselves inside of the Belen culture, while allowing them to narrow down their decisions for the upcoming school year. Because of COVID, Belen had to adjust this year. And they did. They created the first ever virtual open house. To explain to you how it works, we go to Mrs. Martinez, the Director of Communications.
Once we decided to move forward with the virtual 360 tour, we got to work immediately in producing it. If you visit our virtual tour page, you'll see that we have 5 different dedicated videos. One is of our main building. Then we have the Roberto City Innovation Center, which of course is our new facility on campus. We have the gymnasium, the Roca Theater, and our observatory.
The virtual tour wasn't just a 360 view of the campus. It also included Zoom sessions of all types. We talked to Dr. Lucila Espinosa, the Director of Admissions here at Belen.
We had a great number of families attending. I had 6 Zoom sessions. One was on academics, one was also on athletics, one was on campus ministry, so they can learn a little bit more about our spiritual life here at school. Another one was a Q&A with me, the admissions officer, and there was another one about student life and a student panel. As the admissions process begins to pick up speed, Father Willie believes the virtual tour will help incoming families decide whether they want to go to Belen or not.
Actually, in the month of October, the admission process has already started. People have already signed up to the exam. We had over 400 people who participated in the open house. Over 600 people have seen the video. So all of this is pointing us in the right direction for making sure that we have a very good crop of young students for next academic year.
This year's been an adjustment period, as we've had a mix between online and in-person events. As for the virtual open house, though, it was successful.
College students knew that returning to school for in-person classes this fall would be unlike any other semester. After all, COVID-19 testing, social distancing, and mask wearing have become the new normal. With more information on how colleges are maintaining safety measures as they reopen, we go to Anthony Patricios.
Colleges and universities have been facing the challenge of bringing students back to campus and trying to contain COVID-19. Here to talk about how universities are trying to maintain the virus, here is the Executive Director of Communications and Public Relations at the University of Miami, Megan Marie Andrzejek.
Then what we've also started doing, the university started mandatory testing of all students for COVID. So initially, students were required to submit a COVID test prior to returning to campus back in August at the start of the semester. We have since built up a testing infrastructure that allows us to test all students every 10 days. The university established over the summer a public health ambassador program where we hired 75 undergraduate students to serve in the role of public health ambassadors on campus. And they are tasked with, encouraging physical distancing guidelines, encouraging all of our current COVID-19 public health guidelines that as a university, we are asking all of our students, faculty, and staff to adhere to.
Now to talk about how schools can do better and talk about online classes, here's Guillermo Molero, a sophomore student at the University of North Carolina.
That everyone complained about was about how the communication coming from the university was not clear. Like there was a bit of mixed messaging where it seemed like the administration wanted to downplay everything. And then all of these clusters came up and students got scared and nervous. So I feel like if the information was communicated clearly and that schools could be as transparent as possible, it would provide students a lot more confidence. Some classes are asynchronous where it's like the teacher records the lecture, posts the video on our Sakai portal, and then we have to watch that, just sort of keep up on our own. And I feel like those are where a lot of students, or at least I definitely, and I know some of my friends I'm living with right now are definitely struggling a bit more with those.
Colleges and universities are going to keep having more obstacles to overcome throughout this year. Hopefully, student and faculty will be able to be responsible and stay safe and have a stressless year. For WBLN, this is Anthony Patricios.
Attention sophomores, we're now 3 weeks out from our first of 4 Cardinal retreats. This overnight retreat creates a space for students to reconnect with God's presence in nature. It consists of a variety of activities, from team building, readings, meditations, and group discussions. Here's Junior Prime Minister George Balapoji on what Cardinal means to him.
So to me, Cardinal is an opportunity to grow closer to my Belen brothers and strengthen my faith while learning many valuable lessons that will help me for the rest of my life.
This retreat is an opportunity for Belen sophomores to continue to bond with their peers in a setting outside of school. This bonding is heavily reliant on the group building activities that take place on the retreat. Junior Prime Minister Hugo Dorda expands on this.
The most powerful part of Cardinal for me was being able to get closer to my Belen brothers through team building activities.
The bonds formed on this retreat will impact the rest of your time at Belen. Remember, space is limited, so if you'd like more information or to sign up for the October 21st, 22nd Cardinal, please reach out to the campus ministry office. Attention everyone, Junior Michael Modine needs your help. He's holding a diaper and powdered formula drive to help the Lotus House, a women's shelter located in Overtown. Donations can be left in the library as early as 7:45 a.m. every day. The drive will go on until October 27th. For more information, or if you have any questions, you can reach out to Michael at mmodine22@belenwolverines.org.
This year, sports in general needed to be completely redesigned. The NFL, NBA, MLB, and NCAA have all instituted additional safety measures. The University of Miami has instituted tedious protocols to ensure the health of athletes, coaches, and fans. Jose Zaraluki has the story.
This past offseason, the Miami Hurricanes football program faced a major setback due to the COVID-19 outbreak. The pandemic put the NCAA college football season in jeopardy, and many experts believed there wouldn't even be a season.
The players' health and safety was our first priority, and so it was working. We worked with our experts at UHealth in both the medical and public health fields to create a plan that we felt could help give us the best opportunity to be able to play. Wearing a mask, to avoiding unnecessary contact, to social distancing when you can't avoid contact, washing your hands. And then you looked at, okay, how do you get people to have contact when you're really battling a pandemic that wants you to avoid all contact? So that was another piece. And then the third piece of it was, okay, now how can you travel in confined areas, whether that be a bus or on a plane or in a car, and still not put the health and safety of our young people and our staffs, because our staffs travel with as well. So those were all things that went into it. And then it was working with, in our case, the ACC to figure out what schedules would look like and what would work. And I would say is we're trying to reduce capacity in everything we do. So even, when they go into the weight room, that we're not going to have the same amount of people we normally would have in there. When we go on a bus, like you said, we're not going to have the same amount of people we normally have on there. And so again, it's really trying to de-densify every area that we need to be to operate.
The University of Miami has done a fantastic job so far handling COVID-19 and hopefully can continue to do so. I'm Jose Zaraluki reporting to you from WBLN.
Why, hello, Belen boys. You may be wondering, what does Nurse Amador do on her time off? I get educated. And it's my duty to educate you. Just like Thomas Merton says, no man is an island. Flu season's coming. We're not an island. We need to get flu vaccinated. This is very controversial, but we're about to discuss why it's important in your minute to converse with your intellectual nurse. Okay, so first things first, we need to determine if you're a good candidate for the flu vaccine. Answer the following 3 questions. Number 1, are you human? Yes, Okay, let's go to question 2. Are you over 6 months of age? If you're in Belen, that better be a yes. And number 3, do you ever go out in public? If all of these are a yes, then you're a great candidate for the flu vaccine. Now let's talk about the importance of it.
So let's learn about some flu vaccine facts. These are taken from the CDC and they might be helpful to start a conversation with your families on why it's important to get the flu vaccine. So is flu that serious? Well, yeah. Every year, about 200,000 people in the US are hospitalized and about 36,000 people die because of the flu. So if you're over 65 years old and younger than 2 years old, you're more likely to have complications due to flu. But that doesn't mean in between kids don't get sick too. So keep this in mind. So I hear all the time, the year I got the flu shot was the year that I got the flu. The flu shot cannot cause the flu. The CDC makes predictions on what flu strands are circulating in the environment and which ones are likely to hit your area. But if you got inoculated with a different strand, you might get the flu, but not from the flu shot itself. Now, the worst side effect you're likely to get from a flu shot is a sore arm. That's it. The likelihood of you getting a severe allergic reaction is less than 1 in 4 million. Another fact is that most of the time the flu shot will prevent the flu. There's so many times I hear the flu shot is not going to prevent the flu. In addition to scientific studies, the effectiveness of the flu shot has ranged from 70% to 90%. And it's been around a while, guys. Tried and true. Another important fact to note is that adults and children with conditions like asthma, diabetes, heart disease, and kidney disease need to get the flu shot. Doctors also recommend children 6 months and older get the flu shot every year until their 5th birthday, especially with these conditions. Now, as a final thought, the flu vaccine should be given before or during the flu season, but the best time to get vaccinated is October or November, which is where we're at now. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't get vaccinated in December or later. The important thing, especially nowadays with COVID, is to make sure we don't overwhelm our healthcare professionals and we get vaccinated.
I don't know why you always have to be judging me. Because I only believe in science.
And they don't think I know a buttload of crap about the gospel, but I do. Okay?
So, we end up where we started, except a little bit more educated. Speak to your parents on the importance of vaccinations. And remember, in order to be educated, you should be vaccinated. Educated and vaccinated. Educated and vaccinated. Educated and vaccinated. Boys, I expect you all to have your flu vaccine soon, and your families. Especially during COVID season, let's keep everyone safe. When we're wearing our mask, and we're washing our hands, and we're flu vaccinated, everybody's gonna be all the more safer for it. And we're gonna thank you, AMDG boys.
Yesterday, our Belen Wolverines had a heartbreaking loss against the Somerset Silver Palms, 46-20. On Thursday, the Miami Marlins lost to the Atlanta Braves, the Marlins have been eliminated from the postseason. On Tuesday, the Heat lost to the Los Angeles Lakers, who now lead the series 3-1. With Game 5 on Friday, Jimmy Butler and the Heat try to dig themselves out of the hole, while LeBron tries to claim his 4th ring. On Saturday, your undefeated Miami Hurricanes will travel to Death Valley to play projected first overall pick quarterback Trevor Lawrence and the top-ranked Clemson Tigers. Finally, this Sunday, your Miami Dolphins travel to the West Coast to take on the reigning NFC champs, the San Francisco 49ers. In Belen news, as fall sports get into season, they have to take extra precaution in order to ensure the health and safety of the coaches and athletes. Our very own Carlos Perez Abreu has more to say.
The Belen cross-country team, led by Javi Vento, has been very successful in recent years. The runners are installed with a very determined mindset and coached by very passionate coaches.
I definitely set a precedent for the upcoming guys on the team, so I got to keep pushing the pace in practices and moving the team up together. And I'll do that, and I'm doing that by just continuing to run faster and improve on my times. And so, you know, this past season, again, I've been leading the team, and the team has also been getting great recognition across the state and really the nation now. So that definitely hypes me up and makes me want to run even faster. I say for sure one of my biggest accomplishments would be winning the state championship in cross country my sophomore year. And also in the same year, I came in 3rd place for the 3,200 meter run in track that same year.
Frankie Ruiz on why he runs with his players.
So I find myself still running with the team, and I do that in part to understand what it is that I'm actually assigning to them, make sure I don't overdo it or underdo it, and then I guess to stay in some kind of shape as well. We have a goal this year to win a state championship and make sure that we finish among the top 5 in the country. Right now the team is ranked 8th, and hopefully we'll break into the top 5 in the coming weeks.
Javi Vento, Coach Frankie, and the rest of their team have their goals high for the 2020 season, looking to win another state championship and place top 5 in the nation. For WBLN, I'm Carlos Perez Abreu.
That's all the news we have for today. Remember to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. From everyone here, stay safe and stay golden, Wolverines.